So I'm going to introduce the speakers. My name is Derek Lord with the City of Ankeny Economic Development Department. I'll start with welcoming all of you to Ankeny today. We appreciate your attendance at this event, and make sure you get out and explore Ankeny when you get the chance. Our speakers today, Dave Macon, Jay Kazmiri. Is that correct pronunciation? Very good. Great. Dave Macon, co-founder of Nexus 6. A few words from Dave. I've done the whole working for people thing and it sucked. I find that most are comfortable to look at what others are doing and try to one-up them. I like to look at the world and ask what's possible, not what the standard is. Traditional is boring. Boring sucks. Make sure you don't suck. Then we have Jay. Jay's the owner of Vivid Gray, videographer with Nexus 6 as well. With over 35 years experience in print design and electronic media, for the past 15 years, Jay's focus, pun intended, has turned to digital video production and post-production, as well as still photography. Jay is now an experienced videographer, an editor, as well as visual communicator. He's relocated to Des Moines to work with Nexus 6. Where'd you relocate from?
Phoenix, Arizona.
How long was that?
7 years.
Okay. Well, I will tell you this is a good year to be at this event because for some reason the last 2 years this event was held on like the coldest day of the year. You know, it feels cold out there today at 35. Last year I think it was about 4. So it's gotten better. Dave, where you originate from?
Originally England, and then more recently Canada.
Okay, well I have to...
This is nice.
That's why he's the only one with a short sleeve shirt on. And I have to ask those questions because it's a very Iowan thing to do, is to make sure we ask where people are from, right? So we protect our space and want to know where people are from. Yeah. So I'll turn it over to these guys and enjoy your great session here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. So we want this to be kind of a sorry, let me just the little thing died. Your hang on. There we go.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What?
What is happening? All right, Jay, you tell me where
Just
I'm
a
going.
PC.
Yeah, you tell me where I'm going on the screen. I can't see.
Yeah,
No.
It's looking good.
no pressure.
Jesus, this is a presentation on a shoestring budget. All right. Yeah, no, your little clicker stopped working, so I had to use a different one. We want to make this as kind of open and kind of more of a conversation as possible, rather than with just us talking at you. So feel free, if there's questions that come up, just give us a shout. So today, we're going to be talking about social media tools, because everybody here loves social media, I'm sure. Tips for better videos. Ryan, the doctor's in the house. We're going to building an experience and then human interaction. So Jay will be taking over the video portion. The rest, unfortunately, you're stuck with me. So, social media tools. Social media, who would agree that it takes up a huge portion of your time? Right? So, first thing we're going to talk about is a nice little tool. It's free, which is good if you're working on a shoestring. So we've got, who's heard of Canva before? Everyone? Perfect. So this is great because it'll help you build logos, business cards, social media posts, basically anything you're looking to design and create if you don't have the money to invest in Photoshop or anything like that. Kind of any Adobe design products. Plus it's web-based, so regardless of where you are, you can design and then come back to it. So here we've got, as I say, you start here. Once you log in, this is what it's going to look like. What's nice about it is you've got templates that you can pick. You've got a brand kit. So when you have your brand, obviously you want to have your logo and you want colors. If you have a color scheme that kind of goes with your brand, this is great because you can log in here and actually save your color codes so that when you're designing things, you can come back in, pick the color palette that's actually associated with your brand, rather than having to know that hex code and then always kind of putting it in. What's also really cool is you have the ability to build those animated social media posts. So they have like little stickers that move, which is great because, well, actually, a question for everyone, quiz time. What's the average attention span of the average person now? 3?
0.9.
0.9? No, that's probably true. No, okay, so it's actually 8 seconds. That's the average attention span. What's really pathetic is that's actually shorter than a goldfish.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, you know, like goldfish keep, they're like, oh, memory of a goldfish because they keep bumping into the side of things. That's us now. So, animated social media posts are great because you can attach those little stickers. So when somebody's scrolling through a feed and they see something moving, it's like keys. They're like, ooh. And they'll stop and look at it. So another big one here is over here. You can kind of see here. That's an Instagram post. I suggest generally using those because each social media platform has a different size for if you're doing pictures for them. So Twitter is going to be the smallest, but the Instagram posts are 1080 by 1080, and so that's the pixel kind of pixel density really. Now, so if you're looking at that, that actually gives you a higher res picture. If you pick the Facebook, it's still a square, but it's 800 pixels by 800 pixels. So generally, I always go with if you're going to use it, just go with the Instagram post because that'll give you the crispest, the nicest looking post. So once you click in, what you're going to be able to do from here, as we say, we have all of these templates here, so it's a great place to start. So if you don't have that design muscle, but you want to make something that looks nice and actually want you to be proud of presenting, you start here, you can scroll through, you can search different templates. You can also pick from photos. The photos pull from a service called Pixabay, which Pixabay and Unsplash, if you guys need stock photos, those are both free and they're awesome. So Pixabay, PIXABAY.com. And there's also unsplash.com. Both are for, they have a huge catalog of stock photos that you can use. They're royalty free and they're
What was the second one?
unsplash.com. So you've also got all of your elements here. So you can pick and choose shapes, call outs, all that kind of thing. You have your text option, so if you can drop that in. They've got a ton of fonts, and it also syncs up with Google Fonts. So they've got a massive library of basically any kind of font that you'd want. As well, you've got your upload section here. So if there's some actual photos, anything like that you want to upload that you have, that's where you're going to do that as well. So, some people may think, oh, Canva is just, it's a ho-hum tool. I built something to illustrate. So we built this is a Facebook event banner. So I built this in Canva just to illustrate what you can do with it. But as I say, so here we have their company logo pulled in. This is actually their logo, which isn't transparent, but then we had the background, so we mapped the colors. But we pulled this color into the text. So we have the text. Obviously, they're blue from the background of the logo to it. But yeah, so as I say, it's a pretty simple web-based tool you can use basically from anywhere. But I mean, you can play around with it and really kind of make it your own and build some pretty nice things in it. The nice thing about it is it's sized perfectly for whatever you're looking to do. So when you take this to Facebook and drop it in, it's sized appropriately for that event banner. All right. Any questions so far?
How long did it take you to do that?
Oh, 15, 20 minutes?
That's him.
But yeah, so
It's not that good.
I get confused easily. No, so even this photo we pulled out, and I just looked up paella, and this came out of the photo section, so we just dropped that in. Sangria over here, looked it up, and all of that just came straight out of Canva. So even in the one space, I uploaded obviously this photo, this and the brand, the colors that was in the brand kit. But yeah, so I uploaded this, but then over here, this is kind of the shapes that we were talking about.
Dave, that's not actually paying you. Just kidding.
You're a doctor, not a chef.
Sure.
So when you match the colors, is there a tool that does that, or you just have to do it?
Yes, so actually that's a good point. Oh God, what is it? I can't think of the link, but if you do free online color checker, so you can actually upload the actual logo, and then you have this little tool, you just click, and then it'll tell you the hex code. So yeah, it's pretty
So
nice.
when you do your branding on there, can you just put in hex code?
Yeah, so when you go to the brand kit, and it'll say pick a custom color, you just put a little hashtag, and then the color code, and it'll pull up, and then you save. I know. So then when you go back to creating a post and you hit the color, you can say, you know, your company name, and then it'll have basically as many colors as you generally use. Yeah.
What's the easiest way to download your own photos or upload your own photos?
Uploads to this program?
Yes.
Yeah, are they on your computer or?
Well, I can do them from my computer, but when I try to do them from my iPhone.
Oh, perfect. They've got an app. So
Okay.
Canva has an app.
Yep.
So if you download the app, and then you can upload stuff directly to it. So then if you upload from your phone and you come back to a desktop, they'll be
They're
there.
all there. Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to have the app and the one.
Well, you can do stuff from the
Okay.
app. It's easier to do on an actual browser. But yeah, I mean, you can still, if you're in a pinch and you need to design something and you're nowhere near a computer, you can do it on the app.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else?
Can you add videos with that?
Yes, I believe you can. Yeah, now when you add a new video, it's dependent. Some platforms don't allow you to upload the video. It's kind of picky. Instagram's always a pain.
Can you scroll through video?
That's dependent on the platform that you upload to. So if you upload multiple, like let's say gallery to Facebook. Yeah,
I have a question.
yeah.
Do you know, does Canva translate well to MailChimp for like newsletter formatting, or is that something that you don't play around with?
It's a good question.
That's fine.
I'll figure it out
No,
once
that's fine.
They do for Mad Meaning.
Okay.
So they're similar platforms, so I would assume so.
All right. So, now that we've built it, one of the worst things about social media is having to post it, right? So, again, we have a free tool. So, I go, it depends on, there's other tools than Buffer. Buffer's probably the easiest one to navigate and use. There's also Hootsuite. Now, the reason I'm suggesting those two is specifically for Instagram, because if you've ever had to work with Instagram, it is the bane of my existence. Because for some reason, they don't like you to upload to Instagram if it's not on a mobile device. So there's really only two schedulers that will do it, and that's Buffer and that's Hootsuite. Buffer is the easier one to use. So what you can do here is you can come up, I think on the free plan you can add, I want to say it's 4 accounts, they might have dropped it to 3, but you can do Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I believe LinkedIn. So what you do is you come in, and here's your queue, and so you can say, okay, at this time I want it to post at a set time of 5:30 p.m. Buffer will actually also tell you what the best posting schedule will be, so when people are most active, and it'll kind of guide you to post at that point, which is nice because then you just kind of forget. So you can schedule everything, you can schedule as far as you want. I think there's a limit to how many things you can have in the queue on free plan, but you can schedule it out and then just totally forget about it, and then everything will just drop onto your social feeds as it would. The only caveat is with Instagram, because it's a pain in the ass, you have to have the buffer app on your phone just as a precaution, so if it skips posting automatically, you get a notification to push it, but generally it's not a problem.
Do you have a favorite Instagram on your desktop app?
You can't post to Instagram from your desktop. Well, you can technically, but you have to trick it. So in Chrome, if you go to Chrome, and then it only, as far as I know, it might work with Firefox, but I use Chrome. If you right-click and then go inspect, you can tell Chrome that you're working on a mobile browser. So you can flip it to a mobile, refresh the page, and then it comes up like you're on a mobile device. So yes, you can post from a desktop, but it's just a bit janky.
You can schedule through Facebook's business scheduler now. That's a new function. I haven't played around with it.
I just hate Instagram. To be honest, I hate most social media, but I get paid to do it, so I have to. All right. Any other questions? Cool. All right. Well, now you get to talk to Jay about all of his cool stuff.
Video. You can't talk about marketing without talking about video. Especially these days. I'm gonna start with content. Back in 1974, I started this company with my son Bob, and we've been in, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Gonna just get tuned up. So you want my 3 E's: entertain them, educate them, and establish your expertise, which is actually 4 E's, I guess. No one is really going to share that story about when you started your company unless you make it entertaining somehow. So, come up with a way. Would be more fun, be more interactive. So, of course, education is also good, and also these two tie together to educate them, give them information they really need and want. You know, they don't care about you; they care about themselves and what they're trying to do. And then established expertise is kind of in the same vein, just proving that you're the expert on that particular topic. So equipment is a big deal. This is what I use. You won't have this. This doesn't fit in the shoestring budget definition. But I thought I'd bring it and just show it off. But you will use probably one of these. So what not to do? First of all, I see a lot of videos on Facebook and things like that where people are doing this. Well, when I started this company, I had this dog, and they're walking around with this phone, and unless you're selling anti-nausea medication, it's not going to be effective. If you must move, there are tons of these. And now, if you want to show off your warehouse, don't do this while you're talking. I mean, don't try to do the selfie thing with it. But you want to show off your warehouse or your office space, and you're going to have to move around. This thing's really cool. Now you can get these for like $150.
Yeah,
not this particular brand.
What's that called?
This is the Osmo.
So it's a gimbal. It's called a
But yeah, so you can kind of takes the
gimbal or stabilizer.
But it's I think this, because we got this one with the tripod, so that was actually 160.
That's where I can get it.
So that kills 2 birds there. You still got your tripod for your
And then
still shots.
you got the little motorized joystick here. But it's also kind of cool because then, sorry for the people in the back. So you can also do tracking by the app that's on the phone now. So you can highlight a subject and it will actually track them automatically. So you can actually then put it down and then it'll follow them.
Super. Like if you're walking around with
Super
one
creepy.
product or something like that,
Yeah.
it will follow all your motion. It's really cool.
And that's from Osmo?
Yeah, so it's a DJI Osmo Mobile 3.
It's asleep. Any other time, like when you're just talking, things like that, you really want to stabilize your phone. You don't want it moving around. You don't want to hold it out in front of you. So there's some cool ways to do that. This is called a Gorilla Pod. Really cool. You've got a clip here to put your phone. Some models do, or you can use a separate one of these. But the cool thing about this is, you know, you can set it on your desk in front of you, do your thing, or on any service. And it'll also, like, if you have a post or something that you need to fasten it to, it'll do this. So you can wrap the legs around anything, and I won't do the whole thing, but so you can wrap it around the post or something like that, make it any shape you need it to be. Also easy to make it lower if you need it lower on your desk. So it doesn't have to be the full height, so that thing's pretty cool. Other than motion, the other second most heinous thing I find on people's videos is audio quality. Because you've got this phone that far away from you and you're trying to use the little mic in there. So you can actually buy pretty inexpensive lavalier mics that you can clip on your shirt, like that I would use. I use a wireless. You don't need wireless. Just a little extension cable to go with this. Will do the trick. And these you can probably pick up something decent for $29 on Amazon. Lavalier mic. If you don't want to do that, believe it or not, if you have an iPhone, or really any phone that has the headphones with built-in microphone, you can untangle the cord, maybe. Find the little microphone part that's built onto this thing, right? You can actually hide everything else, clip that on your shirt, and it makes a pretty decent lav mic, surprisingly. A lot better than I thought it would be when I thought about that. If you have an old pair that maybe your dog has already chewed up one of these pods, you know, you can actually cut those wires right off. Just leave the only one you need is this one. So you can cut it off here, you can cut it off down here at this other one. And then you got a pretty clean little setup where you don't have to hide the earbuds all the time. So that's pretty cool. Then we get into the last bit here. Wow, my phone is 4K. It'll do amazing video, won't it? Well, there's the lens on this phone, right? That little thing. This is the lens on this. So there's a little size difference there. And the size of the lens is going to mean more or less light is getting in there. A lot less light is getting in here. So as important as lighting is to me when I'm using this, it becomes even more important when you've got this little tiny lens, a little tiny sensor inside there. So I have this cool light that I found. This is, the cool thing about this is it's soft light. So it's not harsh, it's not going to burn out parts of your face. It's like what we call a softbox photography. But it's just that thick, really portable, runs on a couple of batteries or you can plug it in. And another cool thing is you can dim it if you need to.
Can you tell us the model number?
Yes, I will. And you can also, it's important also to match the light in the room. So if you have daylight coming in the window and you're using that as part of your light, which is a really good idea, then you can leave it on daylight. If you're using incandescent lights in the room, you can actually turn it to incandescent color. So that your color will match and you won't be blue on one side and brown on the other, you know, or whatever. So that's very cool. This is made by a company called Dracast.
What was that?
Dracast, D-R-A-C-A-S-T. And this is my favorite brand of these kind of things. So it'll come with, this particular one I got on sale from B&H Photo. B&H Photo is a really good source. They have sales all the time too. I got this light, 2 batteries, a charger, and this stand for $99.
Oh, wow.
Which is amazing. And like I said, if you use your window as one of your lights, you can just use this to fill the other side of yourself. And it's pretty cool. And with that color adjustment and the brightness adjustment, really good deal for $100.
Can you say the name of that again, please?
Yes, Dracast, D-R-A-C-A-S-T.
Thank you.
This is called a Silk Ray. It doesn't say that on it, but it's the model of this is a Silk Ray. Silk Ray 400. And the B means that it's bicolor. They make them also in daylight without the bicolor function, which can be a little brighter actually. And that's about all. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
So, for instance, if you were using your phone on a little tripod to record something in your studio, let's say, and you have a light about that size,
Yes.
is there a general degree of feet that you would set that light from you to
These are
record?
not real bright. These want to be in about 6 feet. They want to be in pretty close. Because that's going to drop off pretty fast as you, I'm going to show you. I mean, I think you can see, I'll look this way so you can really see. I mean, you see that kind of drop off pretty quick. So right here is probably a pretty good distance. And if you're doing your self-talking, then that's all you need. So I had assessments.
So, I have a construction company and we do a lot of like bathroom photos and stuff like that. Is there a better way to take photo, like landscape or?
Really, that's your subject matter. I mean, if you're trying to show a wide shot of the bathroom, you obviously want it to be landscape. If you're showing a detail up close of something,
I had a web developer that said it should always take it this way, but I don't, I'm like, it doesn't always work.
I always do. You always want to do video that way. I mean,
Okay.
That's something else that makes me crazy is vertical video. It's like crazy. Even on like Instagram, which we all hate, we've established that. I believe they go for like square. So there are apps you can buy once you've edited your video, like an iMovie or something like that, that you can turn it square so that it works better in social media apps.
I don't have a question, but I did want to tell people that little tripod that you have, I bought one of those for my daughter from Five Below for $5. That little bitty one?
Yes.
Because she does videos on her phone.
Doesn't work very well.
And we have one of those stores here now. We didn't used to have one, but yeah, if anybody's looking for one, they're $5.
Yeah, I mean, it'll do the trick a lot of times, especially if your phone's not too heavy. It's really pretty stable once it's sitting still. And it'll do the same trick the big one does of wrapping around. Best Buy has these very accessibly. I think this is bigger than any one that they sell, but they sell smaller ones than that. It might be $39, something like that.
On the other cool stand, whatever that
Oh,
means,
yeah.
you said that, and that's a Google Pixel phone, right?
Yeah.
I see that. You said the tracking device on it, is that an app that you can use with that stand?
Yeah, it's
Is it-
actually a DJI on it. So
Yeah,
the
it comes
company
with
that
it,
makes
yeah.
this also makes the app. that
Okay, and
So
it,
it's things
it,
like that.
it also does the tracking then too? Is that the tracking feature in the app?
Yep.
Okay.
I just found that one on Amazon for $140.
Yep,
Oh, what?
it is.
$140 the full kit caboodle. It's an Amazon choice, so I put it in my cart.
Do you want to buy this for $160?
Come to Japanese.
Oh, what I overpaid. Yeah, Jay.
You hate hearing about that?
All right.
Anything else? I'll pass it back over to Dave.
Cool. So, we obviously we work with spaces that, or companies that have space, should I say? And one of the things that we always talk about is how do you get people into the store in a world that's kind of dominated by Amazon? So, what's that? Right? Yeah. No, absolutely. No, I'm not bitter that I lost 20 bucks. So we talk about the one thing that Amazon sells really, really well is convenience, right? You don't have to get up off the couch, drive anywhere, try to find out if they have something. You just sit there and order whatever you need. So a lot of the retail spaces that we work with, how do you get people in the store? Well, what we found is creating an experience for people to come and actually be a part of. So we work with West End Salvage. And one of the things that we just did last month is we hosted a thing called The Haunting of West End. So we did, so we put it on. It was a couple of paranormal investigating teams. We had some mediums. And you would think, okay, what's a salvaged furniture place? What does that have to do with ghosts? But the fact is, it was during Halloween. It was awesome. You know, we actually sold tickets, and we sold out. The event sold out in August. And so we had a huge crowd of people that came for an event that really wasn't about kind of their products per se, but it got them in the door and actually got them looking around and experiencing everything that they had to offer. And now we've, and then post that, because since we were selling tickets, we actually were able to track everybody's email address, and then we sent out a follow-up with a discount associated with them attending the event. I already shared this one with you guys. That's kind of one of the ones that we designed. And then actually coming up in February, because we're going to start doing more quarterly events for West End, because they have the space, we're actually going to be hosting a masquerade ball. So one of the things is, you know, so when we say have an event, it's not just, oh, well, you know, we're doing this and come and see us. It's really kind of doing something that nobody else is going to be doing, right? So how do you bring people in your store, and it's not just having a sale? Because if you're having a sale, then the story's becoming about price, and somebody's going to find what you're selling cheaper somewhere else. You know that.
All about the deal.
So, one of the last things we want to talk about is, you know, obviously we're a digital marketing company. Well, we digital and physical, but one of the things that we don't really talk about enough is the fact that not everything can be done online. Sometimes you actually have to unplug, get off the offline, and go meet people face to face. So it's a great way, obviously, to, you know, they say, oh, your network is your net worth. That's some kind of tagline of some marketing, some networking group. But it's a great way of finding new leads. But the best part of it is you make new friends. And who are they going to suggest if somebody needs something? Somebody they met just because they had their business card, or somebody they actually know and are friends with. So there's a couple of networking opportunities for you guys. These are the ones that are probably I've attended and probably the best ones. There's a ton in town, so if you ever need any more, but mainly the big ones that you kind of want to know of are the Metro Business Friends. They're really active. They meet every Thursday morning from 8:30 to 9:30. And they're at the Price Chopper up in Johnston. So if you go in the front door and then take a right, there's a, I'll get my huge head out of the way. If you go right and then there's some stairs you go up and there's a big boardroom upstairs, that's where they meet every Thursday morning. This one's not as regular, but Brewing Up Business is great. They have a Facebook page. So if you go find them on Facebook, they post when their next events are. Those are exceptionally well attended. And then this one is, it's a paid one, and there's tons of chapters. So there's a weekly free one, there's a free every so often one, and then a paid weekly one. So I'll let you guys copy those. And naturally, I'd be remiss if I didn't plug our own networking group. We meet every Wednesday, 9:30 at West End. So every Wednesday morning, 9:30 a.m. There's some that meet earlier, but I'm not really conscious before that. We're also doing an evening networking next Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday 12th. So November 12th, 4 to 7, we're actually going to be at the Hotel Renova. We're going to have it's going to be the second one that we did in the evening. But yeah, so that one's generally pretty well attended. But it's a great way. The way that this operates is it's more of it's a little less formal, less structured. It's more about coming, meeting other people that are working in a business, sharing kind of what's going on in your life, just throwing out ideas and concepts, and if you're struggling with something, maybe we can help. But it's a little less. You have to bring a lead every week, or you have to meet with somebody every week.
How do you say that middle word?
Oh, that's original. Because it was totally original.
Makes sense when you say it.
Yeah,
Doesn't really make sense when you see it written.
I'm dyslexic.
Iowa aging, what has happened here?
As a woman, I saw a different one.
It's open to all. It's not gender specific necessarily. Way to make it awkward, Chris.
It's wide open, isn't it? Yes.
So here we are. Man. All right. Jay. You take care of her? All right. So, yeah, but no, obviously, so it's me and Jay right here. I mean, obviously the team's bigger, but yeah, I think we got a couple extra minutes if we just kind of want to open it to questions. Yes.
Just a quick question, which hotel is your evening one?
Hotel Renovo. It's on Hickman, just off of the 235, or the 30, not 235, 80.
It's by Living History Farm.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
right.
Yeah. Anything else?
First time we
Anything
ever got
above
that
board?
There was a book I had a while ago that was a digital video book that was published by somebody in the Southwest. That was someone who was like a digital videographer who really went into great detail about all of the different professional, it was a blue cover, it was a press videography. It's really hard to find. I don't know if you were at all familiar.
What is it?
It was a book, yeah. One of the very few books that was actually done on that.
You know,
There was someone in the Southwest, it was like Arizona or New Mexico.
that's where I came from. It wasn't me. Boy, YouTube. It's so easy to find so many good tips on YouTube for shooting your own video, for lighting, for sound, for everything. So that's a good place to go.
Do you guys do any influencer marketing?
Influencer marketing? Like outside of myself, I'm pretty influential.
Or what are your thoughts on it?
You know, honestly, it's really hit or miss. There's not, I mean, I don't know if there's been any real kind of suggestion to say that there's a lot of, there's not a lot of return from influencer marketing. So let me put it this way. Some of you will know this, but do you know the most liked post on Instagram?
Kylie Jenner.
The egg.
Yeah, it's an egg. It's an egg, right? So, and it actually beats out second place by about 40 million likes.
An egg?
An egg, it's just a brown
Just
egg.
a photo of an egg.
Yeah, it's got 56 million likes.
Why?
So I mean, I guess that what I'm trying to say is if somebody who kind of follows influencer marketing could have that egg promote something, they'd probably pay it to. So I don't know, I don't put a lot of faith. Plus the way that Instagram's going, they're actually, they're not displaying likes anymore. So in some countries they don't anymore, but that's rolling out, and then Facebook is also looking to follow suit. So I think you're going to find that influencers are going to have a harder time because there's less publicly, like them showing, oh look, how many likes that we got. And I will say that likes inherently aren't really worth anything. My mentality is focus on, are you getting more business from something? Like I could care less how many people like my post. Did I make any more money? Did you guys make any more money? That's really kind of what we're looking for. One thing I will say though, and I forgot to say, when you are looking to do marketing, and this can be done for free, just keep in mind there's one simple concept. People don't care about facts. So don't try to sell your business on the basis of facts, because they don't care. Even when they say they care, they look for facts that kind of strengthen the narrative that they're already looking to tell themselves. So what you need to do is when you are selling your business, think of a compelling story to tell, rather than just basing it on like, oh, well, we do this and blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Right. So that's why I say that's free. Telling a compelling story will be the best marketing that you can do, as opposed to just sitting there and telling us what you do or how you're the best. Yeah.
So I'm making the transition from the retail world, and I wrote a book that's coming out imminently.
Nice. Well done. You're not from the Southwest, right?
I'm from New Jersey, so I am a transplant. So my book is about, it's geared towards kids aged 10 to 14, but it's kind of an overview of soccer and like international players and soccer culture. And I'm just trying to come up with like ways to promote, like creatively promote that book as not just for kids, but like, hey, if you're a soccer nerd and you're trying to get your friends to understand what's going on, like, here's the book that could be their gateway drug into the soccer community. But I'm just like, do you have any like quick ideas on like, instead of like, because I'm no longer trying to get people to go to a place, I'm trying to get them to like engage and buy the book and share the book.
Yeah, no, this is not entertaining, just like watching me think.
I've never seen it before.
You never show up to the office. Eh? I'm all sassy after losing that $20.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so any other questions? We got 1 minute.
What's your goal when you post on Instagram for your clients? What's the goal?
Really social media is always about getting somebody to think about something that they weren't already thinking. So like perfect example is we support a client in town that deals with mold. So our story, mold is not one of those attractive things that you're like, ooh, that sounds fun. But it's telling a story that makes them think, oh, well, you know, maybe I do have mold. So it's when you look at social media, it's right. It's to kind of maybe get somebody aware of something that they may not have been thinking about before. And ultimately, when posting, the ultimate goal is to have them then convert into a lead for them. Does that answer your question?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to be that guy, but we got to keep moving. Christina's got us on a pretty tight schedule, so let's give these guys a big round of applause.